Bogo, are you gonna do the female down there? I have one over there.
I got the three guys from intake.
Okay, I'm gonna come get the female. All right, good afternoon, everyone. We are gonna go ahead and get started. Can everyone hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, wonderful. This is the State Expedited Accusations calendar in the State Court of Fulton County, Georgia. I am Judge Melanie Williams, and at this calendar today, we will address bond for misdemeanor offenses for those individuals who've been recently arrested. But the cases have already been formally accused and bound over to state court. All defendants, you have an absolute right to remain silent. Anything you say regarding the facts of your case can and will be used against you. You also have a right to counsel today. As you can see, I'm conducting this hearing over the internet as a live stream. It's also being recorded. That means any member of the public can log on and watch this. When I ask if you understand your rights, that is what I am referring to. Have all defense attorneys had the opportunity to interview their clients?
I have, Your Honor.
All right, and will we need interpretation today?
No.
Okay, wonderful. All right, those who receive a signature bond will be reset for the notice. Those who receive a surety or cash will be set to the state all-purpose calendar, whereby aspects of the case, including bond, can be revisited. All right, who do we have first? Take courtroom 2.
Your Honor, I have a few questions and announcements.
Okay. Your questions are making me nervous. What are they?
I have 2 defendants that are not on the calendar, but was on the.
Yeah, that's what always makes me nervous. Okay, who are the 2 that didn't appear?
Longshire and Johnson.
Johnson was NOD'd, but he was a conflict before that, but he's NOD'd now.
Okay.
Okay. And what about the other one?
I didn't hear the name.
That's also an NOD as far as I understand.
Okay.
That is correct, but he also has a battery case that was 10/11/2023. We just pulled that case in because it wasn't on the pull sheet, that EW warrant.
So
Will you be seen for that today?
Yes.
we have a CIT number for that one?
He should have, sir. Yeah, should have.
Yeah, the last minute request, because it wasn't on our pull sheet. We just got the warrant from the jail and from.
Oh, so it wasn't filed down and accused then. So I don't think
Right,
we
so
hear
they still have to
today.
work it.
Right. Okay. What was the announcement?
Position number 4 is a waiver. And also position number 6.
Okay.
And that's all from courtroom 2.
Okay. Okay, unless that case gets filed down and accused, I don't think we can do that extra one, but let's get started. Who do we have first?
Mr. Cromartie.
Okay, let's see. And it would, let's see, what number is that? That's 3.
Position 3, yes.
Okay, Mr. Cromartie, your case is 24CR005439Y. You're charged with hit and run. Do you understand your rights today?
Yes. Yes,
All
ma'am.
right. All right, Mr. Howard.
31. I didn't see any driving. All I saw was he's on probation for possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. He got probation violations and FTAs in his history.
Okay. How many do you know? Did you count how many
31.
FTO?
Oh no, I did not. I did.
Okay. All right. Thank you. All right. Whose cases is yours, Ms. Bickerstaff?
Yes, good afternoon, Judge Williams.
Good afternoon.
So yesterday, Officer D. Bryan was dispatched to 3435 Roswell Highway. And before he made contact with the parties that were involved in the car accident, he noted that he noticed a silver SUV being driven by a black male, the defendant being followed by a lady in a black SUV. Officer Bryant then made contact with the parties, and he specifically, when talking to the defendant, he asked the defendant why was he running from the lady, and the defendant told him that he was not, although the officer observed him driving away from the defendant. From the lady. And when officers spoke with the woman, whose name is Latasha Goodwin, she advised that she was traveling on Buffington Road when she was rear-ended by the defendant. And she explained that after being rear-ended, the defendant reversed his car and attempted to flee, and so she followed him. Ms. Goodwin, our office did have an opportunity to speak with Ms. Goodwin, and she confirmed the events, and she stated that she suffered bumper damage to her vehicle, and that she had pain from her neck and back, and that she had to go to the ER on that day. I believe Ms. Goodwin is on Zoom, and so I would like to sound for her at the appropriate time. But the defendant already had a preset bond of $3,000 surety, and so the state will keep that.
All right. I'm sorry, what was the name? Ms. Goodwin?
Yes.
Ms. Goodwin, if you wish to make a statement, please unmute, raise your right hand. All right, Mr. Cook?
Yes, Your Honor. My client is 43. He has lived in the area his entire life. He denies the allegations as stated in the warrant. We would be looking for a signature bond at whatever level the court deems appropriate. That's it.
All right, defendant's going to receive $1,000 surety bond. He's to have no weapons, drugs, or alcohol as a condition. Is there anything additional?
Nothing from the state.
All right, best of luck to you, sir. Who do we have next?
Can you repeat that bond amount? Sorry.
1,000 surety.
I was on here. I'm sorry.
Okay, do you want to make a brief statement? If so, please raise your right hand. Do you swear in the firm testimony you give today be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, what would you like to tell me?
Like she stated, I was on the intersection of Buffington Road headed toward Roosevelt Highway. As I got to the light, traffic was so backed up right there, so we all moving slow. I see him in my rear view, like he just riding. So I'm thinking that he's slowing down when it seemed like he was braking. I just paid attention to me keep going through traffic.
Ma'am, I'm not gonna, let me explain something, and I should have given you these instructions. This is just a bond hearing. There will be another opportunity for you to, discuss the facts of the case and give your testimony. I just wanted to make sure that there was nothing critical, like you're not concerned for your safety or anything of that nature at this time, but there will be an opportunity for you to flesh out the facts about what happened, okay?
Okay, other than that, me and my baby was hurt. We went to the emergency room, so yeah, that's it.
All right. I do appreciate you coming to court making that statement. We just have a large calendar today.
Oh,
and
it's
this
fine.
is fine. All right.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
All right. Take care. Have a good day.
All right.
All right. Who do we have next?
We have position number 5, Mr. Lee James.
All right. Let's see. Oh, position 5. Come on, calendar. All right, Mr. Lee, your case is 24 CR 005431E. You're charged with criminal trespass and damage to property. Do you understand your rights?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that a yes?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you, Mr. Howard.
You got third arrest. All you got is driving related stuff.
All right, Ms. Bickerstaff.
Yes, Your Honor. So on yesterday, August 2nd of this year, Officer Jean Pierre responded to 325 East Paces Ferry. Those are condos. They're named 325 Paces. And while officers were there, they spoke with the concierge, Mr. Salvatore Sacamano. He explained that the defendant is a resident at the condo building, but he no longer has access to the building's elevators because he doesn't have his issued key fob. The defendant asked the concierge to give him access to the 21st floor, but he was denied because he lives on the 18th floor. Mr. Sacamo, the concierge, then told officers that the defendant made his way to the stairwell with a drill in his hand, and he made it to the 21st floor where he damaged the door handle and hinges off the door. When officers asked why he wanted access to the 21st floor, he refused to answer and he became very combative. There was a preset bond of a $1,000 surety bond, and so the state wishes to keep that amount.
Okay. All right, in light of the information before me, Mr. Cook, I'm inclined to give your client a signature bond through the jail. Any objection?
No objection, Your Honor.
All right, defendant is going to receive a $7,000 signature bond through the jail. He's have no weapons, drugs, or alcohol. I'm not going to restrict him from the building, but I am going to restrict him from the site of that damage, whatever floor that was. All right, best of luck to you, sir. That concludes your case.
Thank you very much.
Martin is next.
I'm sorry, what number?
7 and 8.
Okay. All right, Mr. Martin, you have 2 cases. Your cases are 24 CR 005435Y, in which you're charged with battery, family violence, the day following the 4th of July. Then the next case, 24 CR 00536. I'm sorry, 005436Y. In that case, you are charged with obstruction with the offense date of yesterday. Do you understand your rights? Is that a yes, wherever you are? It's a yes? Okay. Okay. All right. Mr. Howard.
It's 8th arrest. You got an open battery DV in state court. It's 23 CR 003-635Y. 2016 battery DV dismissed. I think all of them got the same victim. That's it.
Okay. All right. Mr. Rhodes, please proceed.
Good afternoon, everybody. As
Good
relates
afternoon.
to Mr. Martin, Your Honor, as it relates to the battery family violence, on July 5th at around 10 o'clock, Officer Carlton responded to 3540 North Camp Creek Parkway in Atlanta, Georgia. He viewed body worn camera of a responding officer that was already there that had met with the victim, Ms. Denise Robinson. She advised that she was assaulted by her boyfriend, Quentin Martin, while they were inside her vehicle near the intersection of Campbellton Road and Barge Road in Southwest Atlanta. She stated that Quentin had been drinking and became upset with her. He then stopped the vehicle and told her to get out of it. And before she could exit the vehicle, he grabbed her by her hair and started punching her repeatedly with his fists. Subsequently, after the July 5th date, officers spoke with Ms. Robinson by phone, July 14th of 24. She advised that as a result of the incident, that she suffered swelling on the left side of her face, as well as a broken fingernail on her left ring finger. She also confirmed the identity of Quentin Martin from Georgia identification photos. Denise Robinson advised that she and Mr. Martin lived together at the same residence and have been in a relationship for 11 years. That forms the basis for the battery family violence. Your Honor, as it relates to the obstruction charge, on or about August 2nd of 2024, Officer Murphy responded to Fair Street Southwest, and at that location, at the Fair Street Market, in reference to a possible suspect that had a warrant. The caller advised that it was known that the male at the location had a warrant. for his arrest in relation to the incident that transpired on July 5th of this year. The caller advised to 911 that she saw him and had him in her view. Officers then responded to the scene and observed the male. The female did point the male out. Officers then began to walk towards his direction, and he was wearing a jersey. When they attempted to apprehend Mr. Martin, who had the open warrant, he snatched away from the officers and fled on foot. They then called a K-9 officer, Officer Denninger, and the Officer Denninger arrived with his K-9 service dog, Paulo. They were able to track Mr. Martin down in a crawl space under an abandoned house located at 1034 Ashby Grove. And Your Honor, that forms the basis for the obstruction charge. Based on Mr. Martin's criminal history that was recited by pretrial and the fact that he does have an open battery family violence, the state would be asking for a $5,000 good bond on the battery family violence, and on the obstruction, Your Honor, will ask for a $2,000 bond, good bond. Thank you.
Okay, and I'm sorry, the victim's name was?
Denise Robinson.
All
Thank
right,
you. Stay away from Denise Robinson. No drugs, alcohol, and weapons.
All right, Ms. Robinson, if you're present, please unmute your camera and raise your right hand and wish to make a statement. You are not required to, however. I am sounding for Denise Robinson. All right, Ms. Atai, is this your case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Please proceed.
Yes, Your Honor, my client is 34 years old. He has lived in Georgia all his life. He doesn't have his own children, but he's been with the complaining witness for 12 years, and they've raised four children together. I spoke with the complaining witness. She stated that she also spoke with the victim advocate and stated that she does want contact with the complaining witness. I believe the alleged incident, the battery family violence, occurred July 5th, 2024. She states that they don't live together, so stay away from the 1175 Fair Street, which is her sister's house. She does want to stay away from the sister's house, but she does want to continue to have contact with him. And again, she did tell me that she stated that to the victim advocate. He is gainfully employed, working at a warehouse full-time. He did graduate from high school in Georgia. He denies the allegations as stated in the warrant. And Your Honor, I would be asking for a signature bond through pretrial services, even if it's at level 4. He cannot afford a bond, Your Honor.
Okay. As it pertains to position, is it 7? The battery family violence defendant is going to receive a $1,500 surety bond. He's to have no contact with the alleged victim and stay away from that location. Additionally, he's to have no drugs, no alcohol, no weapons. As it pertains to the obstruction count, defendant is going to receive a $5 cash bond. He's to have no alcohol, no drugs, no weapons as a condition. Is there anything additional?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
What
Mr.
was
Jordan?
the family address?
Oh, it was 1175 Fair Street. Is that right?
His mailing address?
No, the stay
Oh,
away
the
address.
stay
Oh,
away.
yes, 1175 Fair Street.
All right, best of luck to you, Mr. Martin. Who do we have next?
We can go to position number 9, Miss Chalk.
Okay. All right, good afternoon. Your case is 24CR005440Y. You're charged with simple assault, family violence. Do you understand your rights today? Is that a yes? We can't
Yes.
hear. All right, thank you. Perfect. Mr. Howard?
First arrest.
Okay. All right, Mr. Rose?
Your Honor, very briefly, as it relates to Ms. Abby Michalk, on August 1st, 2024, officers were dispatched to 1511 Cimarron Parkway in Sandy Springs, Georgia, regarding a domestic dispute between male and female party. Upon arriving on scene, they came in contact with Ms. Abby Lee Michalk, who was standing against a vehicle. Prior to her being detained, Ms. Michalk stated that she and Mr. Rice had engaged in a verbal dispute that escalated into physical violence. According to her own testimony, in the course of the dispute, she physically struck Mr. Rice in the face with an open hand. She stated that this occurred as a direct result of her attempting to leave the unit. However, Mr. Michael Rice impeded her ability to leave. Officers concluded that Ms. Mitchell did not in any way have a reason to strike Mr. Rice, and therefore she was charged with the simple battery family violence. This is her only arrest, Your Honor. We're asking in this particular case for a $3,000 signature bond. We're asking that she has no further violent contact with the victim, in this case, Mr. Michael Rice, and that while she's on bond, that she has no drugs, alcohol, and weapons.
All right, is Mr. Rice present and wishes to make a statement? If so, please unmute, raise your right hand.
Your Honor, he's in custody on a felony,
Understood.
false imprisonment.
He's not available. Any objection to a signature bond through pretrial, Ms. Atai, at level 1?
No objection, Your Honor, but I mean, I have questions about this entire, everything. I mean, the Mr. Rhodes says that she had no reason to slap him, yet he was arrested on a felony false imprisonment charge. I mean, this was escalated beyond control by the responding officers.
I'm sure we'll all flesh that out at a later date. That's not today. Defendant is going to receive a $2,500 signature bond through pretrial services at level 1. She's to have no further violent contact with Mr. Rice, have no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, and she will be reset for the notice. Best of luck.
I got a question.
Yes.
He's in felony court because of her?
Yes.
So they probably gonna issue no contact on him. So just so you know, Judge.
Okay. Well, either way, she'll have no further violence. All right. And he won't be able to talk to her anyway, so it's a moot point. All right. Best of luck to you. What do we have next?
Position number 2, Ms. Brown.
Did somebody call for me? Okay. All right, let's see. Of course, my computer is. Oh, are you finished at ACDC?
Yes, thank you.
All right, take care. Have a good afternoon. Bye-bye. All right, Ms. Brown, your case is 24. All right, thank you. 24 CR 005432A, theft of service. Do you understand your rights, Ms. Brown? Is that a yes?
What are my rights?
I said, do you understand your rights? You have a right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. You understand that?
I do understand.
All right. Mr. Howard, history.
Yeah, I'll defer to the state.
All right. Ms. Bickerstaff, I have read this warrant, so I'm familiar with the facts, but if you'd like to summarize them for me briefly and give me the history.
Yes, most recent, I'm seeing a possession of marijuana charge back in 2002, where the defendant pled nolo. Your Honor, just briefly for the record, on yesterday, August 2nd, 2024, at Sugarcoat Nail Spa, the defendant received a gel manicure and a gel pedicure and added a custom shaping, all totaling to $138. At the conclusion of her services, when it was time for her to pay, she gave the employees her debit card, but it did not go through, and stated that the only way she could pay was with a cashier's check. However, the only way that the nail spa accepts is cash or credit card. The establishment did tell officers this is not the first time that the defendant has done that in their establishment. So for these reasons, the state is going to set the bond or ask for the bond to be set at a $2,000 surety bond, for the defendant to stay away from Sugarcoat Nail Spa and take an anti-theft class, as well as no alcohol, drugs, or weapons while out on bond.
Okay. Mr. Cook, I'm inclined to give your client a signature bond through the jail, but require that she not return to that location under any circumstances. Do you have any objection to that?
No objection, Your Honor.
All right, defendant is going to receive a $5,000 signature bond. Through the jail, she's to stay away from Sugarcoat Nail Spa and have no alcohol, drugs, or weapons as a condition. Best of luck to you, Ms. Brown. Who do we have next?
Position number 1, Mr. Black.
All right, Mr. Black, your case is 24 CR 005438J. You're charged with disorderly conduct. You understand your rights?
Yeah.
All right, Mr. Howard.
12, 12 total. Last arrest was in July. Simple battery, 24 CR 004-680J, 2024 FTA, 2023 burglary trespass, 2023 trespass, and 2021 DUI. And he's on a pretrial bond.
Okay, are you taking it back?
I'm sorry.
I'm assuming you're taking that pretrial bond back?
Yeah, it's about to go to record now.
Okay. All right, Ms. Bickerstaff?
Yes, Your Honor. So on August 1st of this year, officers were dispatched to 2727 East Point Street, and they observed a male behaving in an irate manner. The male was identified as the defendant, and he was yelling and being aggressive toward East Point jail staff. When one officer asked the defendant why was he being so loud, he handed the officer a business card and demanded that the officer give that card a call. Officers noted that he was yelling and he was using vulgar language, and he demanded that they allow him to use a cell phone or some type of phone. So for these reasons, the state's recommendation for bond would be a $1,000 surety bond, and for the defendant to take a MHET, as well as no alcohol, drugs, or weapons while out on bond.
Okay. Mr. Cook?
Yes, Your Honor. My client is 28 years old. He works for various political campaigns, so he moves around the country a good bit. We would be seeking a signature bond at whatever level the court deems appropriate. We would object to any anger management condition. He would have no problem with a stay away. I believe this is actually the East Point Police Department lobby, as I recall the warrant correctly. Again, we would be seeking a signature bond. No further contact, and no, we would object to any courses thus far recommended by the state.
Okay. How much is that pretrial bond, Mr. Howard, that you're coming off of?
Oh, I don't know. I have to look.
Okay.
Hold on. Oh, 5,000. 5,000.
Okay. All right, defendant is going to receive a $500 surety bond. He's to stay away from that location, have no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. Is there anything additional?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Nothing.
All right, you have a question, sir? Remember, you have a right to remain silent. I don't want you to incriminate yourself by mistake.
That's cool. I still have a question.
What is your question?
My property, that was the whole point of me going up to East Point. And I still have property there. There's property that's been misplaced. And that was the reason of the business card trying to talk to the justice liaison at Fulton Courthouse. And he said he would help me figure that out about the phone, because all my information is there. And as well, now my book bag's at that property.
Okay. I suggest that you speak to your attorney about this and then have a third party. He can have a third party go to that location and get his items. Okay. I don't want you to say too much. All right. Please speak with your attorney after this proceeding.
When will be my next support date?
You'll be reset, since you got a surety bond, you're reset to the state all-purpose calendar on the 15th of August.
Okay.
All right. If you don't make bond, if you make bond, it'll be reset further notice. All right. All right.
Number 10.
All right. We're going. That's fine. We're going to number 10, Pine. All right. Your case is 24 CR 0054441F. You're charged with simple battery family violence. You understand your rights today?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Howard.
First.
Oh, okay. My apologies. You did tell me that. All right, Mr. Rose, please proceed.
Yes, Your Honor. As it relates to Mr. Moore Pine, Officers were dispatched on August 2nd, 2024, around 9:21 p.m. to 3490 Somerset Trail in Atlanta, Georgia. They were called there by Miss Andrea Pine, the victim in this case, who indicated that her husband had kicked in a door and grabbed her by the neck and began choking and restraining her. She indicated that they both live at the address of 3490 Somerset Trail, and that at this particular time, she wishes that there be a complete stay away from her, as well as the location of 3490 Somerset Trail in Atlanta, Georgia. I believe the zip code is 30331. Asked that the defendant have no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond. And I do understand that this is his first. I asked the court for a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial services. And if he is allowed to have a one-time police escort, Your Honor.
All right, and I'm sorry, the name of the victim again?
It's Andrea Pine, and Pine is spelled P-Y-N-E.
All right, Ms. Pine, if you're present, please unmute your screen, raise your right hand if you'd like to make a statement. Okay, and I'm sorry, Mr. Rose, you said the state is asking for no contact?
No contact.
Okay.
We had
All right.
contact with the victim, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Ty, please proceed.
Yes, Your Honor, my client is 36 years old. As you heard from pretrial, this is his very first arrest. He is the father to 2 minor children, and he is a Georgia resident. He is gainfully employed, running a trucking business, and he also works for Uber to support his family. He has no criminal history. He denies the allegations as stated in the warrant and states that the complaining witness was the first aggressor. Well, we can't object to the no further contact and the stay away. He would need a one-time law enforcement escort. The complaining witness told me that he would need more than an hour because they've been living together for 10 years, and he has a lot of things that he needs to move out. So I don't know the length of time for the law enforcement escort, but we would like to request, the longest possible. I think I've heard 3 hour. And I have no objection to a signature bond through pretrial services at level 1.
All right. Defendant's going to receive a $4,000 signature bond through pretrial services at level 1. He's to have no contact with the alleged victim and stay away from that location on Somerset Trail. He can return one time with a member of law enforcement for about 3 hours if permitted, and if possible, to collect any items he has. He's additionally to have no drugs, no alcohol, no weapons, and he will be reset for the notice. Is there anything additional?
Nothing for
All right, best of luck to you, Mr. Pine. Let's take up the waive case at position 4. The case of Jonathan Huff, 24 CR 0054442J. He's charged with theft by shoplifting. Mr. Howard, can I have that history?
24. 2022 shoplifting, 2021 FTA, 2014 theft by deception, 2013 shoplifting conviction, and 2012 FTAs.
Okay. Ms. Bickerstaff?
Yes, Your Honor. So on June 19th of this year, officers arrived to North Highland Avenue. It was the Ace Hardware in response to an individual shoplifting. That individual was identified as the defendant. So when officers arrived, they spoke with Miss Carlton Elfrid. I'm sorry if I mispronounced her name. She explained, she's an employee there, and she explained that the defendant caused numerous issues in the store. Specifically, he entered the store wearing a mask and he stole a chore boy scrubber for $3.99 and a propane torch for $26.99. The defendant is on surveillance camera with the items in his hand. The defendant already had a preset bond amount in the amount of a $1,000 surety bond. The state wants to keep that amount, but also add a stay away from the North Highland Avenue Ace Hardware store, as well as for the defendant to complete an anti-theft class.
All right. Mr. Cook?
Yes, Your Honor, my client is 41 years old. He's lived in the Atlanta area about, I want to say about a year. He's employed as a barber and has been so for 20 years. He's a graduate of Alabama A&M. He denies the allegations as stated in the warrant. He makes a modest living actually as a barber. We would be asking for a signature bond at whatever level the court deems appropriate, even if it's a level 4. We would object to the anti-theft class and no other objections to conditions recommended by the state.
All right, defendant will receive $1,000 surety bond. He's to stay away from that Ace Hardware, have no alcohol, no drugs, no weapons. All right, we're gonna move to the waive case position 6. Lisa Martina Lee, then I was Mrs. Mim, 24 CR 005433J. She's charged with simple battery with the offense date of yesterday. Mr. Howard, can I have that history?
2021 ag assault was the last. That's open. 22 SC 180. They left off a number. 2021 simple battery conviction. 2019 obstruction. Simple battery disorderly conduct conviction. 2019 battery obstruction conviction. 2018 interference with government property first offender.
Okay. And whose case is this for the state?
Mine, oh, sorry.
Okay.
Or
No
your-
one wants this case?
What is the?
This is number 6, the waive case.
I thought Mr. Tye was changing sides there for a moment. I was frightened me. I don't want her on the other side.
Okay. Sorry.
Okay.
I have Lisa Lee as number 6. Is that?
That's correct. Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay. This is my case. Sorry.
That's all right.
As it relates to Miss Lee, this case incident occurred around August 2nd, 2024, 2:20 a.m. at 80 Jesse Hill Drive, which is Grady Hospital. Officers were called there because the victim in this case, Ms. Diana Cash, was attacked physically by Miss Lisa Lee. Ms. Lisa Lee struck her in the face with a closed fist. And there was a witness that was also there, Miss Walker, I believe it was, that informed law enforcement that she witnessed it. So that forms the basis of the simple battery at Grady Hospital on that particular day. Your Honor, we'd ask for a $1,500 surety bond.
Okay.
I'm gonna stay away.
Okay. And the alleged victims, I'm sure they're not here, but let's sound anyway. What was her name? I'm never good with that. I try to write it down and still don't get it.
I think I said it's Diana Cash. It's not Dana. I think I might have said Dana Cash. Diana Cash.
And I actually wrote it and still couldn't find it. All right, is Miss Cash on the Zoom and wishes to make a statement? Okay, hearing none. Mr. Ty?
Yes, Your Honor, my client is 37 years old. She has been living in Georgia her entire adult life. She does have children. She is struggling with homelessness and has been for several years, Your Honor. She does deny the allegations as stated in the warrant. She states that she was at Grady because she had to jump out of a car to escape from somebody who was taking her to the wrong location. She felt that she was maybe being kidnapped. She wasn't able to be brought to court today because the officer stated that she has a gash on her leg, a gash on her arm, injuries that weren't treated at Grady. Your Honor, she did graduate from high school. She did attend Georgia Military College and Atlanta Tech and Atlanta Metro. She does have a good mailing address here. I would ask for a signature bond through pretrial services, even if it's at level 3.
All right. Defendant's going to receive $1,000 surety bond. She is to stay away from Grady Hospital unless she is receiving medical care and treatment. She's to have no further contact with the, was the victim a nurse before I do that?
I know she was employed there.
Okay, so let's say no further violent contact with the alleged victim in this case. Have no alcohol, no drugs, no weapons as a condition. All right, we've completed the calendar as presented before us. What is gonna happen with the add-on that wasn't quite an add-on? Do we know?
Well, I did get the chance to file it down. I'm not sure if we can do it or if that's.
That's up to Mr. Jordan whether that is possible.
Give me about 2 minutes.
Okay. All right, so we'll be on hold for 2 minutes.
I have a question on Mr. Longshire. If anyone can answer it for me. Which misdemeanor charge was dismissed?
Second, I'll tell you. 1 second. The ones that were dismissed were driving, fleeing, or attempted to elude and reckless conduct.
Okay, and did they email that one?
I sent a NOD order to, let me tell you specifically who I sent it to. I sent it to Mr. Michael Jordan and to PD Hoda. I'm sorry if I mispronounced your name.
Yes, I got that.
Might need to be null process though, Ms. Bickerstaff, because I believe that they didn't assign a CR number?
No, Mr. Jordan emailed me and said that he unlinked it so I could just do a NOD.
All right, great.
Hold on, can you email me that?
Yes. And so the battery family violence, I mean, I saw that that was linked to the felony charges. Is that not the case? I don't know if it's another warrant, but I think it's the same warrant.
So they unlinked it. So we received an email from the folks that were doing the felony calendar, let us know that that misdemeanor warrant was out there. So they had pulled it into their case because it was on their pull sheet. So I'm guessing the DA must have told them to send it back to the state. The state. But that's how we got.
I agree with what's been stated, because I think when I read it, it was the same date, incident date and transaction. As the because I thought there was an aggravated assault. Is that the one I read?
It was a different incident date, the aggravated assault.
Different incident date. Okay. There we go.
All right, we have the CR number. Are we ready to move forward? And I'm sorry, where's the defendant's name in charge? Oh, there we go. Thank you, Mr. Jordan. All right, this is case 24 CR 0054443C. This is Mr. Longshire. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing it incorrectly. You're here for a battery family violence charge. Do you understand your rights today? All right, I'm assuming that's a yes, Mr. Howard.
7 total. 2019 FTA. 2013 probation. You got a $15,000 good bond and felony on that ag assault.
Okay. All right, Ms. Bickerstaff.
Yes, Your Honor. So on October 11, 2023, Officer Crowell responded to 1007 Welch Street for a dispute. The officer was assigned the case as an investigator and watched another officer's body camera footage, which showed him speaking with the victim, Miss Janiyah Stalling. Ms. Stallings stated that she and her children's father, the defendant, were arguing about diapers, and she stated that she tried to put the accused out of the house, and then they got into a fight. Ms. Stallings stated that at one point during the fight, the defendant bit her on her chest. Ms. Stallings did have a bite mark to the upper left side of her chest, just under her collarbone. Ms. Stallings and the defendant lived together, and they shared 3 children together. And she was able to identify the defendant from his driver license photo that was provided by an officer. So for these reasons, the state's recommendation would be a $5,000 surety bond to stay away from the incident location, 1007 Welch Street, and to have no further contact with Ms. Janiyah Stallings, as well as no alcohol, drugs, or weapons while out on bond.
All right. Is Ms. Stallings present? Wishes to make a statement?
Your Honor, I just texted her. I didn't reach out to her because I didn't think that this was on the calendar, on our calendar today, but she stated that she does want contact with him. I can send her the link so she can get on. This did allegedly happen October of 2023. So I would ask for no violent contact.
Hold on, she's not the same victim in the ag assault that went to felony, is she?
No, it can't be, because this wouldn't be here then.
Well, they said he went to felony this morning, right? Correct? Okay, well, anyway, that's irrelevant if it's not the same victim. All right, Mr. Ty, please proceed. But if you want to very quickly see if you can get her on here.
Okay. Let me send her.
And was a $1,500 good bond he got this morning at felony, Miss Howard?
15,000.
15,000. Okay.
Sorry, Your Honor, I'm waiting to hear from her. Well, Your Honor, my client is 28 years old. He does share 4 minor daughters, ages 1 to 8, with the complaining witness here. He denies the allegations as stated in the warrant. The complaining witness has stated that she does want contact with him. She says that she's downloading the app right now. He does run a freight business, and he works in traffic control. And let's see, I don't have much else about this, but I would object to a stay away and a no contact because they do live together and they're raising 4 daughters together.
Okay.
And I would, Your Honor, I don't think, I didn't hear the history, but I don't think there's any other domestic violence or anything. So I would ask for a signature bond through pretrial services. He already has a lot of bond to pay for the felony.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Jordan. All right, defendant is going to receive a $3,500 surety bond. He's to have no further violent contact with the alleged victim, have no alcohol, no drugs, no weapons as a condition of that surety bond. Is there anything additional?
Nothing from the state.
All right. Best of luck to you, sir. That concludes your case. All right. I believe we have completed the entire calendar. Mr. Jordan, will you review it for me?
Judge Williams, you said no further violent contact on that last case?
I did.
Okay, and number 8, did you say $5 cash bond?
I did.
Okay, thank you.
Since we can no longer send those through the jail.
Okay. I'm ready. Position 1 is a $500 surety. We said SAP. Position 2 is a $5,000 sign-on bond through the jail. Position 3 is a $1,000 surety. Position 4 is a $1,000 surety. Position 5 is a $7,000 sign-on bond jail. Position 6 is a $1,000 surety. Position 7 is a $1,500 surety. Position 8 is a $5 cash bond. Position 9 is a $2,500 sign-on bond pretrial level 1. Position 10 is a $4,000 sign-on bond pretrial level 1. And the add-on case is a $3,500 surety.
And for position number 3, that's 500 on each, right?
It was $5 cash on number 8.
No, 3, because it's 1,000.
Oh, number 3, I'm sorry.
500 on each charge.
Did
He
he
got
only had
one, it's one
charge?
charge. She just split it up when she did the calendar, but it's just one charge.
It's just one charge. All right. I believe we will be in recess then until Monday's SCA calendar. Take care, everyone. Have a
Thank
great afternoon. Bye-bye.
Bye.